A woman stumbles out of her car onto a busy freeway, completely unaware that someone is secretly filming her. What happens next will surprise you. Late one night on the I-15 freeway in San Diego, a loud screech of tires shattered the quiet. Melissa Carter's car sputtered and then stopped right in the middle of the highway. Cars swerved around her, honking in frustration. "Oh no," Melissa cried, desperately turning the key in the ignition, but the engine wouldn't start. She looked in the rearview mirror and saw headlights coming closer. She was trapped among speeding cars. Panicking, Melissa fumbled with her seatbelt. After a few drinks at an office party, she struggled to open her car door and stand up. She had no idea a news van was parked nearby. Inside, cameraman Jake Martinez was eating a late-night burrito. He noticed the commotion and woke up his sleeping partner Tom. "Wake up, something's happening right in front of us." Tom, a veteran reporter, perked up like a prairie dog. Well, what do we have here?" he said. Jake grabbed his big camera and started filming, catching every wobbly step as Melissa stumbled away from her car. She was dressed in a sparkly party dress and super high heels, looking like a baby giraffe learning to walk. She almost fell flat on her face more than once. "Whoa there, take it easy," Tom muttered, watching through the van's window. This could get messy real quick. And then things went from bad to worse. In her not-so-clear thinking, Melissa tried to push her car off the road. She put her hands on the trunk and pushed as hard as she could, but the car didn't move an inch. Melissa lost her balance, and with a yelp, she tumbled backward and landed hard on her backside, right in the middle of the freeway. Jake and Tom saw Melissa fall and felt bad for her. "Oh, that looks like it hurt," Jake said, pointing his camera at Melissa. She was trying to get up, but it was hard. However, Melissa wasn't done yet. Oh no, she had more tricks up her sparkly sleeve. She kicked off her high heels and marched to the front of the car. "Oh no," Tom groaned. Melissa put her bare feet on the warm road, grabbed the front of the car, and started to push. Her face turned as red as a tomato as she tried to move the heavy vehicle. "Move, you stupid car," she yelled, her words mushed together. Jake and Tom watched, half scared and half amazed, as Melissa pushed and pushed, getting nowhere at all. Cars kept zooming by, their lights making the whole scene look like some weird dance party. "We've got to do something," Tom said, reaching for the door, but Jake stopped him. "Wait," he said, his eyes glued to the camera screen. "Look over there." A cool black motorcycle had pulled up behind Melissa's car. The rider, dressed in black leather, got off the bike smoothly and walked toward her. "Hey there," the biker called out. "You okay, miss?" Melissa spun around so fast that she almost fell over again. "Oh, hi there," she said cheerfully. "I'm great, thanks. Just trying to move this silly car. Want to help?" The biker tilted their head, probably wondering why Melissa was so happy in such a dangerous situation. I think we should get you off the road first. It's not safe here." But Melissa wasn't having it. She waved her hand, almost hitting the biker in the face. "Nonsense, I'm fine, just need to move this car. Come on, help me push." The biker, trying to figure out what to do, looked around for help. That's when they saw the news van. They waved their arms and shouted, "Hey, you guys, can you come help us?" Tom and Jake looked at each other. This was it, time to stop watching and start helping. They jumped out of the van, Jake still filming as they ran over to Melissa and the biker. "Ma'am," Tom said, using his serious voice, "we need to get you to safety. You can't stay on the freeway like this." Melissa's eyes widened when she saw Tom's microphone and Jake's camera. "Ooh, are you guys from TV? Am I going to be famous?" Jake couldn't help but laugh. "Well, you're certainly making quite a show tonight." As they were discussing what to do next, a bright yellow taxi pulled up beside them. The driver leaned out the window, looking concerned. "Everyone okay here?" he called out. "Need a ride?" When it seemed the situation might be under control, Melissa's eyes widened in panic. Before Tom could suggest moving her to safety, she shrieked, "My purse." Melissa yelled, spinning around so fast that she almost knocked over the biker. "It's still in the car." Before anyone could stop her, Melissa was running back to her car, her bare feet slapping against the road. She yanked open the driver's door and dove headfirst, her legs kicking in the air as she searched for her purse. "Ma'am, please," Tom called out, sounding really worried. "You need to get out of there." But Melissa wasn't listening. She popped back out of the car holding a sparkly purse that matched her dress. "Got it," she yelled, waving the bag around like she just won a prize. That's when disaster struck. In all her excitement, Melissa didn't notice that her foot was tangled in the seatbelt. As she tried to step away from the car, she got stuck, lost her balance, and fell backward into the driver's seat. "Oh, for goodness sake," the taxi driver muttered, jumping out of his cab. He ran over to help, but Melissa was already trying to get up. As Melissa flailed around, she accidentally knocked her purse onto the car floor. In her panic to retrieve it, she leaned too far forward, pressing against the handbrake. This pressure caused the parking brake to disengage, and the car slowly began to roll forward. "Oh no," Jake shouted, realizing what was happening. He dropped his camera and rushed toward the car, but it was already picking up speed on the slight incline. Melissa, still half in and half out of the driver's seat, started screaming as she realized the car was moving. "Help! Someone stop it!" The biker reacted quickly, sprinting after the rolling vehicle. Tom was right behind, forgetting all about reporting. Jake grabbed his camera and followed, filming the intense scene. Cars nearby swerved to avoid the out-of-control vehicle, honking their horns in alarm. Screeching tires filled the air as drivers tried to avoid a collision. Thinking fast, the taxi driver jumped back into his cab and carefully maneuvered alongside Melissa's rolling car. He matched its speed, trying to guide it toward the side of the road with his yellow taxi. Melissa, still tangled in her seatbelt, struggled to pull herself fully into the car. Her legs dangled dangerously close to the ground, and she risked falling out any moment. "Grab the wheel." The taxi driver yelled through his open window. "Try to steer it to the right." Paralyzed with fear, Melissa managed to grasp the steering wheel with shaking hands. She turned it slightly to the right, guiding the car toward the shoulder of the road. The biker running alongside reached for the passenger door handle. In a daring move, they yanked it open and jumped into the moving vehicle. "Hit the brakes," they shouted to Melissa. With the biker's help, Melissa finally managed to slam her foot on the brake pedal. The car screeched to a halt just feet from the guardrail, leaving long skid marks on the asphalt. As the vehicle stopped, everyone let out a collective sigh of relief. Tom and Jake arrived seconds later, both out of breath from the chase. The taxi driver pulled behind them, his hazard lights flashing to warn oncoming traffic. "Are you okay?" Tom gasped, looking at Melissa with a mix of concern and disbelief. Melissa, her hair disheveled and her dress slightly torn, looked from Tom to the biker to the stopped car. She burst into tears, the reality of the danger finally hitting her. "I don't know what happened," she sobbed. "I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have been driving." The biker patted her shoulder comfortingly. "It's okay. You're safe now. That's what matters." As they heard sirens approaching, signaling the arrival of California Highway Patrol officers and paramedics, Jake remembered he was still filming. He lifted his camera, capturing the aftermath of one of the most intense traffic incidents he'd ever witnessed. Officers quickly arrived and assessed the situation, speaking with Tom, Jake, and other witnesses about what had happened. Tom, trying to stay calm as a reporter, asked Melissa if she would share her story. Wiping her eyes, she looked at the camera and said, "I made a terrible mistake tonight. Please everyone, never drink and drive. It's not worth risking your life or others." Her words turned the incident into a strong public safety message about the dangers of impaired driving. An officer approached Melissa, serious but calm. "Ma'am, I need you to do a few tests," he said. She nodded, struggling to keep her balance during the test. Afterward, the officer sighed and announced, "Ma'am, I'm arresting you for suspicion of driving under the influence. Please turn around and put your hands behind your back." As the officer read her rights, Jake kept filming, showing the serious consequences of drunk driving. The biker, who had been quiet most of the time, stepped forward. "Officer, I'd like to give a statement. I saw everything." While one officer took the biker's statement, another approached Tom and Jake. "We need to see that footage," he said firmly. Tom agreed, knowing the video was important evidence. "Of course, officer. We'll give you copies." As Melissa was led to the patrol car, she turned to the camera one last time. "I'm so sorry," she said, her voice shaking. "I never thought this would happen to me. Please don't make the same mistake I did." The officers then began clearing the scene. A tow truck came to remove Melissa's car from the freeway, its flashing lights making the scene feel even more surreal. The taxi driver, who had helped prevent a tragedy, gave his statement to the police. "I'm just glad nobody got hurt," he said, shaking his head. "It could have been so much worse." The officers looked closely at the scene. They measured tire marks, took pictures, and talked to witnesses. Tom and Jake shared their video, knowing it would help show what happened to Melissa. The story was on the local news in the following days. Tom and Jake's footage was used as a strong warning about the dangers of drunk driving. The biker, who wanted to remain anonymous, was called a hero for their quick actions. Melissa faced serious consequences, including charges for drunk driving and other violations. Her license was taken away, and she could go to jail or pay large fines. This incident led to new talks about drinking responsibly and using rideshare services or designated drivers. Local bars and restaurants teamed up with taxi companies to offer cheaper rides home. And the CHP started a new campaign sharing Melissa's story as a warning. Thanks to the kind people who helped her, things turned out okay, but she could have been in much more serious trouble. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. Thank you.